Shark says this vacuum runs for 70 minutes. In the mode most people actually clean in, you're looking at about half that. And that's not even the most surprising number I found while digging into this thing. Welcome to Sweep Gear, where we dig past the spec sheet to find out what a vacuum is really like to own, so you can spend less time guessing and more time actually cleaning. If you've got pets, you already know the drill. Hair on the couch, hair on the stairs, and a dust cup you're constantly emptying, usually right as your hands are full of something else. That daily grind is exactly what Shark is targeting with this one, the PowerDetect Pet Plus with the clean and empty system. It's built around a simple promise: dock the vacuum, walk away, and let it empty and recharge itself. Before we get into whether that promise holds up, here's something that caught my attention. In a head-to-head comparison against a much pricier flagship vacuum from a competing brand, this Shark actually came out ahead in one specific category. I'll tell you exactly which one and where it lost a little later, because the full picture matters more than one headline win. Let's start where most people start: the battery. Shark's box says 70 minutes, and technically that's true, but it's measured in eco mode, on the handheld unit alone, doing the lightest possible cleaning. Nobody actually cleans their whole house that way. Once you switch to auto mode, which is where most people spend their time because it's the mode that adjusts power automatically, real-world use puts you closer to 35 to 45 minutes. And if you kick it into boost for a deep clean on a bad carpet day, that drains in roughly 15 to 20 minutes. So the 70-minute number isn't a lie, exactly. It's just not the number that matters for how you'll actually use it. Now here's the part that surprised me. Despite that battery reality, this vacuum's cleaning performance punches well above its price tag. On high pile carpet, it picked up pet hair faster than Dyson's current flagship cordless model. That's not a small claim. It comes down to the dual brush roll design on the floor head, which handles both carpet and hard floors without you swapping anything, and it agitates debris aggressively enough that it captured the vast majority of debris thrown at it during evaluation. If you've got thick carpet and a dog that sheds like it's their job, that's good news, and it's the kind of result you wouldn't guess from the price tag alone. Pet hair pickup in general is where this model earns its name. It comes with a tool called fur fins, built specifically to pull embedded hair off upholstery, the kind of hair that regular attachments just push around. And the main brush roll is self-cleaning, so you're not constantly cutting hair out of it with scissors, which if you've owned a cheaper vacuum before, you know is its own special kind of annoying. But let's talk about something the marketing photos don't really show you: the weight. As a full system, this vacuum comes in at just under 18.5 pounds. And multiple owners describe it as top-heavy. That's a real repeated observation, not a one-off complaint. If you're vacuuming a single-level apartment, you'll probably never notice it. But if your routine includes a lot of stairs, or you're reaching up to clean ceiling fans or curtain rods, your arms are going to feel it before you're done. Some people say the weight is distributed well enough that it still handles comfortably. Others say extended sessions wear them out. Both are true, depending on how and where you use it. So that's the trade-off so far: strong cleaning power, real convenience from the auto empty dock, but a battery number that oversells itself, and a body that's heavier than most cordless sticks in this price range. Speaking of the auto empty dock, let's get into how it actually works, because this is the feature the clean and empty name is built around. When you set the vacuum back on its base, it automatically pulls the debris out of the small onboard dust cup and pushes it into a larger sealed container inside the dock itself. Shark says that container can hold up to 45 days of dirt and debris before you need to deal with it. And the seal design is genuinely useful if you or someone in your house deals with allergies, since the whole system is built to keep dust locked away rather than kicking it back into the air every time you empty it. Here's the catch though, and it's one almost nobody mentions up front. Inside that dock, there's a small internal chamber that debris passes through on its way to the sealed bin. That chamber isn't really designed to be taken apart and cleaned. Over time, especially in homes with a lot of fine dust or pet hair, it can start to clog. And when it clogs, your suction quietly drops, and it's not always obvious why. The fix isn't complicated, usually just some manual clearing with a narrow tool, but it's something to check on periodically rather than assume the dock will take care of itself forever. One more small annoyance worth flagging. Some owners have reported hair getting caught around the tiny caster wheels on the floor head, the little wheels that help it glide, not the main brush roll. It's not a deal breaker, but it does mean an occasional pair of tweezers moment you wouldn't expect from a vacuum this advanced. If you're weighing whether this is the right vacuum for your home, I've left the current price and where to find it in the description below so you can compare it against what else is out there while we finish walking through the rest of what you need to know. Now, about that Dyson comparison I teased earlier. On high pile carpet and pet hair pickup, this Shark holds its own, and in that specific matchup, it actually outperformed Dyson's Gen 5 Detect. But it's not a clean sweep. On low pile carpet, the Dyson has a real edge, picking up debris more efficiently in that particular scenario. Dyson's tools are also generally a bit more thoughtfully designed, and depending on how you're comparing modes, it can offer a somewhat longer sustained runtime at higher power. But here's the number that changes the whole conversation. This Shark setup often runs several $100s less than Dyson's comparable flagship. If you're trying to decide whether that price gap is worth it, it comes down to whether low pile carpet is a big part of your home or whether you're mostly dealing with hard floors, high pile rugs, and pet hair, where the Shark holds its ground. There's also a simpler decision some of you are facing. Shark sells this same vacuum without the auto empty dock at a noticeably lower price. Same brush roll, same sensors, same suction. The only thing you're paying extra for here is not having to empty the dust cup yourself. If that convenience matters to you, especially with pets in the house, it's worth it. If you don't mind emptying a small cup every few uses, you can save real money by skipping the dock entirely. So let's bring this back to who actually benefits from this vacuum. If you've got pets, especially heavy shedders, and you're tired of manually emptying a dusty bin, this checks that box well. And it does it at a price that undercuts the premium competition. If allergies are a concern in your house, the sealed filtration system helps keep dust contained rather than stirred back into the air. And if you're comparing this against Dyson, purely on cleaning performance for carpet and pet hair, the gap is smaller than the price difference suggests. On the other hand, if you've got a lot of stairs or you do a lot of overhead cleaning, the weight is something to think seriously about before buying because it's a documented, repeated experience, not a rare complaint. And if uninterrupted battery life is your top priority, especially for larger homes where you're vacuuming continuously on higher power settings, go in with realistic expectations rather than the number on the box. There isn't a universal yes or no here. This is a strong vacuum for the right household and a frustrating one for the wrong household, and the difference usually comes down to your floor type, your home's layout, and how much you value not touching a dust cup. If this helped you get a clearer picture of whether this fits your home, tapping that like button helps this kind of honest breakdown reach more people who are stuck comparing spec sheets instead of real experiences. And if you want an honest, no-fluff take before spending real money on a vacuum, go ahead and subscribe because that's exactly what we do here every week. Before you go, I'm curious. Are you leaning toward the auto-empty version, or would you rather save the money and empty the cup yourself? Drop a comment and let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.